Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy. We're looking at the Porsche Macan GTS. I'll include a link to the Land Rover and Lehigh's website in the description down below. They're providing this Macan GTS. If you have any questions, need any help, just ask for Bronson. Link to my car buying guide in the description down below too. Let's get into it. Powering this is a turbo 2.9 liter V6 that goes through a 7-speed dual clutch. It puts out 434 horsepower and then 405 pound-feet of torque. Just like a Mini Coupe, the lights are so high here on the Porsche Macan that you've got a little cutout there in the hood. Definitely a cool look. Before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Now, I'm pretty sure this paint job is called chalk. It's like this flat gray. And of course, you've got the fancy Porsche emblem on the front. Now, just below the headlight here, we've got the little turn signal indicator. And you notice on either side of the grille, you've got these large openings. And so altogether, I think it's definitely a cool look on the front end. Tire wheel setup in the front is 265 by 40 by 21. In the back, it is 295 by 35 by 21, so a staggered setup. This one has these wheels that are completely blacked out. You also have the blacked out Porsche brake caliper as well. There's a little GTS logo on this trim piece here on the side. And I think the overall Macan profile and proportion is really good looking. So with the key fob, we've got our lock and unlock function. We got the opening here for the hatch, and then it is shaped in a car shape, which is cool. Now the Macan comes with a cargo cover built in from the factory. You've got these buttons to raise and lower the rear end to make accessing it a little bit easier. This is not a massive crossover, but space back here is pretty good. Now we've got these smoked out taillights here with the GTS package, and of course Macan GTS there at the bottom. This also comes with aggressive exhaust tips and 2 on either side. But let me know what you guys think about the exterior here. And let's now pop inside. Really nice leather trim up top with the contrasted red stitching. And then you've got a bunch of red trim with more red stitching down below. And I love Porsche's door handles. They feel really high quality. Now the seats here in the back are also red, perforated all down the center. Legroom here in the back is good. We also have a little storage pocket on the back of the seat. We've got our own climate zone here in the rear. We also have heated seats and some USBs down below. Although it's really sloped back here, I do have a little bit of headroom, but not much. So let's now pop up front. More of that red contrasted stitching here up top, and then more of the red trim down below. The mirrors do power fold in, and then you've got all of your window controls here, and you can also open up the hatch from this control stack. This comes with memory seats and blind spot monitoring. GTS there on the headrest, and again, more nice perforated leather trim. All of our power adjustments on the side, and this does come with lumbar support, and look at that, Macan GTS. Now on the side here, you've got the ignition there that looks like a key, and then you have the light controls right next to it. And speaking of that, let's start her up. Now I do want to mention this has an aftermarket steering wheel cover. That is not what it looks like from the factory. But at least it says Porsche on it, I suppose. Anywho, we do have practical controls here on the front of the steering wheel for like your phone controls, little paddles there on the back. The other side you can see has the voice command controls, and then you still have a bunch of stocks here on the back in normal Porsche fashion. You also get this drive mode select dial, which I think is cool, and you can actually press that button right there to open or close the valves to the exhaust. Now the Macan is one of the few Porsches that still has an analog gauge cluster, which I think looks a lot better than the full digital, but they do give you a little screen there off to the side so you can still scroll through vehicle information. We also, of course, have a clock on the dash, and more of that nice stitching all across the dash too, and just nice trim in general. Now this does come with a 360 camera system. It's not a huge car, but it's still nice equipment to have. And then as for the infotainment system, there's a shortcut bar here on the side of the screen, and you can see that the screen is very responsive overall. Now we're back up here because I want to show you guys the different drive modes. We got normal, sport, sport plus, and then an individual mode that we can switch between. And it does also adjust the suspension depending on the drive mode. Look how cool this is. We actually have a real shifter there in the center. And then on either side, we've got climate controls. We got controls for the heated and ventilated seats. There is quite a bit of glare on this panel, but it also controls stuff with the vehicle, so you can raise and lower the suspension, open up the exhaust, change how the suspension performs, whether it's firmer or softer. Got a little Macan logo right there, some cup holders, decent center console space, nice trim here on the top. We have just a regular rearview mirror, and then this does come with a panoramic sunroof. And then up top here, we've got a bunch of controls for the sunroof, for example, universal garage door opener to turn off the parking sensors as well. With that being said, let's take out the GTS and see how it performs. Boom! Let's experience some Porsche power with the Macan GTS. Now Porsche probably does a better job than anyone else when it comes to dual clutches with being smooth and then also having high performance. But you do still feel it a little bit at the low speeds. You do still feel it a little bit. This steering wheel cover is so funny. Man, this car must have been owned by, it's like a boomer cover, I'll just say it. This car must have been owned by a boomer. Nothing wrong with being a boomer, but some of them have interesting taste. That's for sure. Smooth so far, man. It's cool this has the height adjustable suspension. I'm still kind of on the fence about height adjustable suspension. The utility's nice, but then it's like, man, when those systems break, it ain't cheap to replace. Yeah, there's a little bit of transmission lag there. You can feel that. Now, in terms of daily driving, I said I should do a pretty good job. Road noise is, I mean, I wouldn't call this like full-blown luxury by any means, but it's pretty well insulated. It's pretty comfortable too. Handles great, of course. We're not going crazy fast, but you can feel, if the car handles well, you can feel that it's just going through the corners, no problem. And the steering's good. I think Porsche is probably one of the few automakers that's actually made an electronic rack feel decent. Geez, Sport Plus. It is going to adjust the suspension. Everything's gonna be firmer now. And remember, it also lowers the car a bit. System's quick too, the raising and lowering. I do love Porsche's interiors. They hold up really well. Like, the build quality is great, materials are really nice, and that's, you know, what you're gonna want at a more expensive price point. Man, that is just sharp with the shifts. It's super sharp. I'll get you guys another acceleration in a moment. But yeah, the transmission's a highlight. Like, this is one of the few automatics that doesn't, at least for, you know, performance and on-road driving, that doesn't bother me. It's an automatic. Like, I think Porsche is one of the few automakers where you're like, you know what, I think I could live without a manual. But Porsche also makes a really good manual, so it's like you can kind of get the best of both. Not in the Macan, obviously, but for the sports cars, make a manual. Suspension's actually not that bad when it comes to firmness. It really isn't. So they actually did a pretty good job with that. Yeah, I mean, the paddle response is amazing. Some other automakers, it's like the paddles are just ornaments. It's like you're never going to use them because transmission response is not good enough. Okay, let's get another acceleration here. Oh, so at the top end, it really rips. That's where you get the power. I was like, this doesn't feel like 400 and something horsepower, but yeah, it's at that top end that the power really comes into play. Man, that was impressive. Like, oh, yeah, that's a ripper. That is fun. That is tons of fun. Well, let me go back in automatic mode. Do I have to? Usually you can hold down the plus pedal in most cars. Interesting. Whatever, I won't worry about it. I'll just manually shift. So, in summary, the GTS is actually a really well-rounded car. Great daily driver. You know, when you just have it in the normal mode, like, you can tell it's sporty, but it's not uncomfortable. It's very comfortable to drive around. But then you take it all the way up to, or close to redline, and it really rips. Like, those last couple thousand RPMs, it really starts to rip. It's quite impressive. So let me guys think about the GTS, but I think that, you know, GTS is kind of like the, I can't see which drive mode I'm in because of the, thank you, there we go. GTS is a lot of times considered the Porsche sweet spot because you get the performance but it's not quite as hard-edged as like a full-on GT car. And they don't make a GT for the Macan, if I remember right. But yeah, it seems like it's a really well-balanced car. So let me know what you think.